Hey everyone, it's Caleb from Caleb Beecher's Trains here today. And in today's video, we're actually going to go over some more layout updates for this year. And I'm super excited to go over them. They're big updates to the layout. And one of them is actually a new control system. So let's go ahead and get into it. So over the past couple of months, I have made some very slow but recent progressions to the layout. And I could not be happier with how they're turning out so far. Starting over here, we'll actually take a look at one of the most exciting things that I have done to the layout, which is actually turning this Morrison door factory into a cheerwine factory. Now this is cool to me because I'm from the state of North Carolina and cheerwine is by far my favorite drink of all time. We've got lots of it here. You can't go to a store without seeing cheerwine, and most of the time every restaurant has a cheerwine. But yeah, it's just a fantastic soft drink, cherry flavored, but I really wanted to represent that on my layout. So I liked this building being the Morrison door factory, but I thought I kind of would prefer cheerwine factory. So I cut the sign off right here and I actually custom made a cheerwine sign. I drew it up in Adobe Illustrator and printed it and then slapped it on a plastic sheet, took off the old sign and then just super glued it here. I got to do a little bit of touch-up paint on this part where I removed the old sign, but yeah, so that came out super cool. And then to cover up what was originally a painting here of the Morrison door factory, I actually printed out a custom Coca-Cola sign, as you can see here. It says, whoever you are, whatever you do, keep you refreshed. And it's got a steam locomotive whistle. I know it's not a cheerwine poster, but Coca-Cola is my second favorite drink, so I wanted to represent that somehow. And then obviously we got the factory track here. And I removed most of the Morrison door supplies that were here, and I actually put them in this Southern boxcar here. But eventually I'm going to get some soda crates 3D printed, and they're going to go here, and I will probably make some decals to actually go on the soda crates that says cheerwine. We actually put another one of those cheerwine posters like on the other side of the layout here too. But yeah, could not be happier with how this factory is turning out. And then over here at the H&H feed mill, I acquired these two vehicles. These were both from York, and I could not be happier with how these look. You probably saw them in my 6900 review video. But yeah, so this is a Matchbox die-cast truck here with the milk crates. And then this is a Athearn, I think it's a 1/50th scale. Yeah, 1/50th scale die-cast tractor. And these two just look so good together on the layout. I mean, especially with the zoomed in shot here. They fit perfectly with the H&H feed mill. And I could not be happier with how those have come out. And then moving on over here, this is actually being converted to a freight depot, and we'll talk about why in just a minute, because this layout is eventually not going to be a 4x8 anymore. But like I said, we'll talk about that here in a minute. So this is going to be converted to a freight depot instead of just a normal passenger station. I really like how this looked, and I didn't want to get rid of it whenever I do what is to come. But so I decided to keep this where it's at and just make it a freight depot. So I've added some freight right there that's actually removed from that platform over there. Reuse and recycle as many materials as you can. Saves you a little bit of money in the hobby. Now over here in the downtown section, other than the fact that I left some figures sitting out on the road, you may have noticed a very big difference with how it looks. And the reason why is because I actually moved the Boyd's Billiards over to the right. And the reason I did that is because I just recently went to the Spencer Shops Train Show in Spencer, North Carolina. Hey everyone, in today's video we're actually here at the North Carolina Transportation Museum. And right now I'm actually running one of my newest purchases here. We got Austin here. Hello. And we got Sidon back there. And right now we're also double heading my 542 and his 544. So yeah, what you think about that, Austin?
I think it's a great time to be able to double head these locomotives. Ever since I learned you got that 542, I was thinking, wanted to have them double head.
All right, here it comes. Pretty sweet. But tonight we also have a nighttime photo shoot here at the museum. It's going to be pretty cool. And obviously the train show going on. So yeah.
In a second, I gotta get this going. There's two. Great job! What are you doing? What are you doing?
And I acquired this movie theater building from Woodland Scenics. And I got a super good deal on it. It didn't have a box or anything, but you know, it didn't matter to me because it's going to be installed on the layout. So, but everything works on it. All the lights, the sign actually lights up, and the interior lights up there. I absolutely love how this building looks. I'm a videographer, and I love watching movies and you know, figuring out how they're made and stuff. So it made sense for me to get the movie theater. And I did have a little bit of concern with how wide it is this way if my passenger cars were gonna hit, but thankfully they do not hit. They actually clear it just fine, and it doesn't look too weird. But yeah, I just absolutely love how this looks. And then it made it where Boyd's Billiards actually kind of sits pretty strategically, where you can see it on both sides from this grade crossing right here. And then I've put down some mats right there that are gonna be like a seating area. I just have to find some good tables and seats and stuff to go right there, but I honestly can't wait to see how that turns out. And then ironically, my mom was actually named off of the movie Gone with the Wind, so it means something even more special that way. But another thing here is 2 more vehicles. That one over there I got at York, a Coca-Cola truck. And then this one right here, I have to say special thanks to CWF Trains, my good buddy Bobby. He actually gave me this soda truck, which goes perfectly with the layout's theme because the soda factory's there. And I've got the Pepsi Cola truck here that I think I showed in my York video that Mike bought me at York. So you got the Pepsi Cola truck, you got the grape soda truck, and you got the Coca-Cola truck. I need to find me a Cheerwine truck or custom make one too. So then, you know, it makes sense. All the trucks are coming from the soda factory, distributing it through town. The grape soda truck must have just dropped it off at the movie theater. The Pepsi Cola truck's, you know, dropping off some Pepsi at the general store. And then the Coca-Cola truck is dropping off some Coca-Cola at the station, which I actually have right here. These are one of the first things I put on the layout. These are from like a model kit. These are little Coca-Cola crates, and I hand painted every little bottle cap. That was quite a challenging process, but yeah, I could not be happier with how the downtown section's looking. The only things that are left is to add some street lights. I'll probably put one here, probably one right here, and then one way over there in the corner somewhere, just to help light everything up. I know it looks bright on camera, but in person it's really not that bright in this room because I've only got like lamps and stuff lighting up this section because on the ceiling there's actually no lights. The nearest light is right there. So I have to use these lamps to help light up the room. Which can make filming trains a little challenging sometimes, but like I said, I'd like to put some street lights, kind of cast some more light on things. But yeah, I could not be happy with how this looks. Now, what I was talking about earlier with that being converted to a freight depot is this layout is actually going to be expanded by a foot on each side. And I love that this is a 4x8 and I've been able to fit as much as I have into a 4x8 layout, but the problem that I've had with it is I want to run multiple trains, and obviously, you know, my track comes all the way out to the edge, and there are some locomotives that I want that require an 060 curve. So I'm going to be expanding it by a foot and putting an 060 loop. Now it'll still be a smaller layout. It'll be a 6x10 instead of a 4x8, but the good news with that is that, you know, you'll be able to run 2 trains and have bigger passenger cars and locomotives run. And what's going to happen is it's actually back here on the layout, they're going to be right next to each other, and then the curve is going to come out with the 060, and then there's going to be a gap in between the tracks here where the water tower is going to be moved. And then my good buddy Matty C actually sold me a station that's going to go in between the tracks so that both tracks can be serviced by the station. So that's going to be super fun to pull off. It's probably going to be a while because, as we know, this hobby is expensive. Track costs a lot of money, and so does lumber right now. You know, it's still really expensive, so we're going to have to wait just a little bit to do that project, but at the same time, I cannot wait to do that. It's going to be super cool. You know, and if it doesn't work out in the end, expanding it by a foot, that's okay too. I'm okay with just the 4x8. But definitely something that I'm looking forward to in the future. Now, the last but not least layout acquisition, other than these 2 locomotives, which we'll talk about here in a second, is actually a Lionel 990 control system. Special thanks to Trains.com for selling this to me. This is a really, really big acquisition of the layout that I've wanted for a very long time. Even though the Base 3 is coming out, I'm more of a physical controller person, and most of my engines are Lionel Legacy, and I wanted to be able to take advantage of the quilling whistle, which is with the slider right here. And then there's other features like the brake and the brake boost and all that stuff with this too. We won't get too in depth into that today, but I really wanted this system. So I've got the controller here, then underneath the layout we got the base. So yeah, special thanks to trains.com for this. I can't thank them enough for selling this to me. And make sure you use code CETRAINS to save $10 off one order of $50 or more. You know, save y'all a little bit of money when you're buying your trains. So yeah, overall I could not be happier that I now have a 990 system. Now we'll go ahead and talk about these two locomotives here. So again, I went to the Spencer Shops Train Show, and these two came from that show. This one is actually a little bit special with how I got it. So my good buddy Austin, you may know him as Great Smoky Mountain Rail Fan on Instagram, actually wanted my Southern SD24s when he first heard the horn on them. And I was like, well, if I ever get rid of them, I'll let you know. So I decided that it was time to go ahead and get rid of them, just because I didn't use them as much as I thought I would and stuff. And I said, hey, do you want to trade? So I traded him for this Lionel Legacy SD60E. Now, I know that I do a lot of 50s and 60s era stuff, but my favorite modern diesel of all time is actually the Go Rail unit that NS has, the SD60E. So it made perfect sense to go ahead and acquire this for the layout. So the SD24s are gone, but we have an SD60E for the layout now, and I absolutely love how this thing looks. I mean, it's just a beautiful locomotive, so overall could not be happier. Now let's go ahead and talk about this. So this locomotive, I was not expecting to buy any locomotives after York, but it caught my eye and I've been looking for one for a very long time. This is a Lionel Legacy Southern PS4. Now the only thing that's wrong with it is the smoke unit does not work properly in it right now, but I'm going to get that repaired eventually. But really, for the time being, it's okay, because this has literally my all-time favorite Lionel whistle built into it. I could not be happy with it, and then just the amount of separately applied details on it is really cool. So overall, super thrilled about being able to acquire this both of these locomotives here. They look super good on the layout, but yeah. So to end off this video, we'll go ahead and show a couple clips of both of these locomotives running throughout the layout with the new scenery. And I hope everyone enjoyed watching this video. You know, I try to update y'all as much as I can about layout updates. And if you like stuff like this, you know, just make sure to subscribe, you know, leave a like. And by all means, comment your favorite part about the layout updates. And if you have any suggestions, I'm open to those as well. I'm always looking for new ideas of what to add to the layout. So without further ado, let's run some trains.
Dispatcher, we're ready. Is it okay to pull? Over. Yes, you're good to go. Over. Copy that. I have a clear signal. Out.